Hi, my name is Janette Terrazas. I'm from Ciudad Juárez, and I'm a textile artist and activist from Ciudad Juárez and the borderlands. So my cultural practice, I describe it like as a very linked to Mother Earth, like with plants and botanical prints. Also as a reflection of the social issues that we have in the border in Ciudad Juárez mainly. So I always try to keep many topics together that speaks about environmental protection or environmental issues, but using some materials and plants that are endemic or from the area. Also recycled elements that speaks to the art. So in my work as an activist, for so long I have been studying gender issues, but in the last 5 years I'm focusing my labor as activist and also as an artist in environmental protection. And now this year I'm participating and co-founding a front in defense of the Rio Grande. Some of the projects that we have as a front in defense of the Rio Grande is to promote laws that protects the cuenca, like the basin of the Rio Grande, and considered as a natural protected area, more like in the area of Juárez, El Valle de Juárez, and Samalayuca, because we don't have time. Like in 7 years, all of the aquifers and the basin, it's going to start to dry, and it will be very difficult for populations and the ecosystems to survive. So at this point, we need to push laws that protect, and also to reconsider new laws in order are more linked to the climate change, because the laws that we have now for the aquifers and the water laws are from the 90s, like 1906, it are so old. So now we are trying to push new laws. And what else? And mainly about my artwork, I have been developing more projects about migration, like bird migration, and the quality of the water of the river, because in the last year it has been polluted by the wastewaters that comes from El Paso Company, like El Paso Waters, and also from La Junta Municipal de Aguas in Ciudad Juárez. So if we don't take care about the ecosystems, it's like we are not taking care of our own lives. So everything is connected, and that's the reason that I feel like art could be like a tool of change and a way to sensibilize people and to sensibilize our communities to get conscious around these topics. Yes, in the part of the aesthetics, I use a lot natural dyes, like Gobernadora, that it's an endemic plant in the Chihuahuan Desert and other parts of the border between Mexico and US. And also I feel like this plant, it erases this sense that we have of border, because Gobernadora spreads all around and erase this sense that we have that there is a border there. And Gobernadora is also a kind of pigment that it's more alkaline. It means that it prints in yellow and green ranges, color ranges, and also gray. And it's meaningful, and it has been meaningful, just not in the aesthetics, but also for all the communities that we have been living in the desert for centuries, and also as a medicinal plant. So it's very important to recognize that another property that Gobernadora has, that it's related with the pigments and textiles. And the cochineal, that it comes from the nopales, that it's a plague that it sticks in the nopales, and then you can make more than 500 ranges with this little bug. And also it's very interesting. It comes from Oaxaca, but it also spreads in all the parts of Mexico and in Central America that we have nopales or cactus. And also it was a method of pigmentation of pre-Hispanic cultures. So for me it means to honor my ancestors and to honor the plants and the land that we are living. And about environmental protection, I think it's very important to speak about that in the arts. Because plants, the ecosystem, and the environment, everything, and we are super connected. And also to show and to express to the world that we are not living we are not the system create that we live as individuals, but in the real thing is that we are interconnected, we intervene with everything. And that's the reason that it's so important to the issues, recognize the issues are connected with the environment. So every time that we damage the environment, we are damaging ourselves. And it's mainly what I want to express in my art, and also to create consciousness, and also to create to create consciousness around that. The migration, it's also something natural. That's the reason that the birds comes from so far, from Colombia, from South America and El Caribe, and just take some time here just to rest, and they keep going their movement. As a humans, we do the same. So I feel borders there should not exist, or political borders. The racist policies has been eroded from our collective memory that the river is a living organism instead of a political boundary. So we have to change our narrative around the river, and also to protect the river, because we all came from there. Yeah, so I feel the work that we are developing in the defense of the Rio Grande, it's including all generations, because when we speak about the river, and there's in the group people that has been growing around the river, and for so long they share their memories that they have in the past, their experiences close to the river. And now we are experiencing the river in a very different way, as my son or young people from 6 years or 7 years are living right now, because the river has a lot of water in the 60s, in 1960s, and now the river is almost totally dry in the side of Juárez. So it's a very different river that the people from the generation of my parents lived, that the generation of my generation live, and the generation of my son will live. So that's the reason that the memory of the river is so important. And the natural dyes, it has been part of our cultures for so long. So every time that I make a workshop, I include all people, kids, I have been working with kids from 6 years, 7 years, teenagers, people from university. And I think it's a practice that everyone can learn. And also it's a way also to remember our ancestors' practices, and it's intergenerational, because everyone can learn about plants and how to make tinctures and dyings with plants. So the event today is around La Reta Identata, that it's called Gobernadora, and it's an endemic plant from the desert, and we are showing some of the history of Gobernadora and also how you can dye with Gobernadora, and I bring some chest pieces and some fabrics and fibers that are printed with Gobernadora, and it's a space, a community space on everyone can learn about the history and the craft of Gobernadora.